Whether we like it or not, we will have to come back to that idea of population control. We have to manage it. I know that this is not a popular topic, but it has to be addressed. As a population geneticist, as a development enthusiast, I want to see development. If we don't control the growth rate in population, no matter what we are doing, all the other advancements and so on that we say will just be consumed by it. It will appear that we are not doing anything. Population is good if it is a well-structured and educated population.
The African Union's Agenda 2063 lays out a bold vision, an Africa that is prosperous, well-governed, and driven by its own citizens. But vision without execution, of course, is an illusion. So today we turn to experience, to scholarship, and to leadership forged across decades. Our guest today is a distinguished academic, administrator, and former Vice-Chancellor of Lagos State University, a man whose journey spans from Lagos, Nsukka, the United States, Canada, and whose career reflects the intersection of education, governance, and national development. Today, we explore not just the story, but what his life reveals about Africa's future. Now, let me remind you that you should not forget to like, comment, and share. On Just Africa Today, we will be talking building Africa's future through knowledge, governance, and institution. And joining here is Professor Abisogun Lee, former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, former Vice-Chancellor of Lagos State University, head of Brazilian quarters, the Onikpopo of Popo Aguda. So glad to have you.
Thank you so much. Yes. May I make a correction?
Yes, sir.
Did I hear you say Deputy Governor?
Former Deputy, I corrected myself.
No, I wasn't Deputy Governor
sir.
at all.
Okay.
I was Commissioner for 2 times, but never Deputy Governor.
All right.
But that's okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
All right, so let's start off. You have spanned across a whole intersection. I mean, you can even tell us the history of Nigeria.
Well, I think I can. I can try.
It's quite interesting to have you here today. It's really a pleasure. So let me begin. You were educated in Lagos itself, from St. Peter's School and Faji to Baptist Academy, to University of Nigeria, Nsukka, then onward to Iowa State University, to the Guelph in Canada. The list is endless. So it's not just educational journey, it's a historical journey for you. So how do these various environments, how did it shape your understanding of Africa and its possibilities?
Thank you very much. I think I must thank the management for inviting me. Your question is very, very interesting. As a young Nigerian traveling in 1966, just before the Civil War started, on scholarship to go and develop master's degree in the United States. As a young man, I was so eager to learn and to bring back the knowledge to come and help back home. And that's what I did. I can tell you, we had opportunities after my PhD degree in 1973, where those people there in the university and in their industry were praising us, extending invitation for us to stay. They even say, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in Africa? What is there to do? But it was our intention and belief that knowledge acquired must be brought back to assist in the development of Nigeria. And that's exactly what I did. But I can assure you, I did my best to learn virtually everything that came across me and I came across, all with the hope that we will come back and use it to develop Nigeria. The reality is different. And the reality was very, very disappointing. When I came back with a PhD in a systems area in animal breeding, a new dimension to that field, I thought we will be able to apply this knowledge through teaching and research and benefit others. But I can tell you that majority of what I posited in that dissertation were never applied. There was no opportunity here to do it. So the very, very first thing then is this. Is there an environment here in Nigeria or in Africa for all these young people who are bringing back fantastic knowledge to operate? Using my own example, I can tell you that in majority of cases, the environment were not conducive. But we thank God we were able to at least have a niche in teaching. I love teaching. I love imparting knowledge to young people. But knowledge without application, I don't think it's a good thing. You have to apply it. You must have an environment where you can apply the knowledge. And then if you continue to do it, you will build a momentum and you will be able to make a change. So to answer your question, I gathered information, I gathered knowledge, and I can tell you we have knowledge in genetics, in quantitative genetics. Now Nigeria is having a Minister of Livestock Development. That is where part of what I did will be very, very useful. But how is it being organized? Will the traditional owners of the Nigerian cattle, which we call white Fulani, white Fulani, the animals cows that you see, they are mainly white in color and so on. Will the traditional owners release them for research? I don't think so. But that is it to start with your question. Yes.
All right. You mentioned something about reality.
Yes.
Reality. So I want us to pick on that. You witnessed independence.
Yes.
Great optimism.
Yes.
Then, of course, the realities and complexities that followed.
Yes.
What is different? What does it mean? What did Africa mean to you then and now? Is there a difference? Has there been any change?
Yeah. Well, luckily, we are very next to the stadium, the race course, where that Union Jack was lowered and the Nigerian green and green flag was raised in 1960. I was there as a young boy on this island. We all had a lot of enthusiasm and joy that we were going to move forward. And I can tell you, Nigeria was going on. It was moving. It was moving. I can say that personally because I experienced it. Until suddenly that civil war came. The coup, the civil war. And what is the fundamental motive? It wasn't patriotism about Nigeria. It was more of sectional and personal interests. If the rulers or those who instigated that coup, those who perpetrated it, if they had focused on unity, I think things would have been very, very different. So you are asking me what changed? In Nsukka, white students who are coming from Canada, from America, from Britain, to study in our universities. That shows you the level and quality of knowledge that were resident in the Nigerian institutions at that time. But over time, because of this rancorous and terrible bitterness amongst the young leaders of Nigeria at that time, because they were all young, they were youths. We find ourselves where we are now. And it looks like the center could not hold, and everybody started looking for their own group interests, tribal interests, and so on. The idea of religion is more recent. In the old Lagos Island, we didn't care whether you are you are a son of an imam or you are a Muslim. I attended Quranic school, even though I was I am an Anglican, and I'm a Christian. My parents, my grandparents. But we didn't mind until later that they started introducing these divisive schemes to make sure that Nigerians we're all partitioned into different spheres and groups. So that was what went wrong. If, for Christ's sake, and I think I have to look in the camera and ask these people, they know themselves, those who are using all these divisive techniques to separate our people, to cordon them into different groups. If you can please allow wisdom and sense and patriotism to reign, Nigerians are all the same. I'm a geneticist. I'm a population geneticist. There is nothing you want to find in a Kaduna community that you cannot find in a Lagos community. We are all the same. If you do a DNA test, you will see that we are almost all related than what they are teaching us to do now. So I'm appealing. Let them forget the differences and look at what we can do together. And we should be able to do. The potentials are there. Knowledge is everywhere in Nigeria. If you are looking for beauty, you are looking for knowledge, you are looking for anything, you are looking for resources, we have it. What is different is how we manage all these endowments that the Almighty God has given us.
Thank you very much. So you have spent your life within university as a lecturer, as a vice chancellor, and a lot of people have argued that our universities are still struggling with relevance. Like you rightly said, Nigeria has so many economic challenges. So the question now is, are universities producing just graduates or problem solvers?
Well, at my age, I think we have to just say it as it is for the benefit of this nation. What is going on now is just the production of mainly graduates. Mainly graduates. I don't think the students themselves know what they are doing. I can give you an example. We can even test it. The students in any field, in any area of specialization, must produce what do you call it, a project at the end of 4 years or 5 years. Not many of them, not a significant percentage, can actually defend what they have written in those projects. I know that. I am sorry, but that is the truth. That is the truth. You just find out that some will go to Port Harcourt, just go and pick a relevant topic there and bring it to bring it to Lagos. And the lecturers, because of the quantum, the number of students, the lecturers themselves don't have the time or the interest or the energy to go through each project one by one. There are some, I am sure, who are still dedicated to that fundamental principle of teaching. We want to produce the best, but majority just, I think what is going on is just quantum. We're just throwing them out. You find a graduate, you ask simple question, they don't even know. Why are you doing literature review in your project? They don't know. If you don't know what literature review really means, the philosophy or the import of it, then what is the project you are doing? So they are just piling those papers because they are requirements for graduation. That is a major flaw. And to compound it, we are increasing the numbers of universities. That is just too much. The elites in society have now turned owning a university into something else. It looks like a competition. I am not trying to denigrate or to play down the philanthropic inclination of these people who use part of their money to start universities. But looking at it now, it looks like it's a racket. It's just everybody, you want to have your own private university. Now, who is going to run it? Where are the lecturers? Who is going to guarantee the quality? Where is the quality assurance? I appreciate my colleagues at the NUC, those professors, those staff who are working day and night to make sure that they maintain qualities in all these universities and make sure that the curricula are good. But I think there's a limit to their efforts. So to come back, that is the thing. There's a big gap now between the way we were trained, the way I was trained at Nsukka, I'm sure at that time at Ife, at Ibadan, at Lagos, at Ahmadu Bello, between that time and now. Now you have so much number and I must say less quality.
So what must fundamentally change for African universities to become engines of development? Because I used to hear that even University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan,
Yes.
the king of Saudi
Yes,
and his family
yes.
they come there.
We witnessed that, yes.
So how do we identify the problem? Is it the trainee? Is it the trained? Is it the infrastructure?
I believe it's the infrastructure. And some people are afraid to say it, but it has to be said. The incursion of the khaki men, the military, into the governance of Nigeria. It's a major, it's a significant factor that really affected negatively this normal, natural development that we are talking about. For example, when I started my career as a lecturer too at IFE, there was no closing time. There was no closing time for lecturers. We had we have our offices, we have the lab, and we have our home. Once you close officially in school, about 3:34, you just go for a 1 hour siesta, and you were back. You were back in the lab or back on the farm. No time. No time. We were just walking and enjoying it until you feel tired, then you go home. Next morning you come. And our students were our friends. But suddenly, I believe in Gowan era or something, they sent all the lecturers home. They locked up the universities. And then suddenly, the lecturers realized that they've just been slaving away because they had no home to go to. We were used to the official quarters, you know. And then when they called the university, they reopened it, lecturers started to say, so there must be, I must spend my time for myself. That's how the whole thing started. But there is still hope. Because really, we have to be hopeful. We have citizens who have energy and talent. Every sector of Nigeria has talent. I have handled thousands of students. You lecture them a very complicated concept, and you will see how when they finally assimilate what you are talking about, the glow, the way, the happiness on their face. And as a teacher too, I would feel very, very happy. So we have talents. The talent is not limited to the east or to the west. It's everywhere. On the Mambila Plateau, people have knowledge and talent. It's now be very careful to develop this thing with a purpose to serve our nation. I think that's what is lacking.
All right, so before we go to other areas, one of the challenges in the education sector, in our institution, is this incessant strike.
Yes.
First, it was IPPRS, then it was arrears that were not paid, increment, this, that. Even the University of Lagos, the teaching staff, threatened to go on strike because they said they were owed January and February salary. Is it the fault? And different administrations have come in to try and mediate with them, and it has not gotten anywhere. And they say when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. The students are suffering. Students have spent 8 years, 10 years instead of 4 to 6 years.
Yes.
What can be the lasting solution to this?
Well, the damage had been done in the past. They're just trying to correct it now. I think what can be done is for parents to understand that their students, not all students can go to university free of charge. It's not possible. And the government cannot alone handle the responsibility of financing these institutions. It must be a joint responsibility or project by the parents, the public sector, the private sector, and government. Everybody. The universities must be granted autonomy. That's what happens in other places. You don't go there and be getting yourself involved in their day-to-day affairs. They want to appoint a new vice chancellor. It becomes the responsibility of the state to be playing underground and so on, all that rubbish. Give them autonomy, but retain the regulatory control. If anything goes wrong, apply the rules. They are not doing that now. The ASU, and yes, I have to come back to it because I used to be a member of the ASU too. And I remember during my own time as Vice Chancellor, I was able, with the grace of God, I was able to contain all the wahala. I was battling with only student activities at that time, cultists and all that in LASU. But the unions were very, very cooperative. And why? Because I opened the books to them. This is what is happening. If we had peace, we can train, we can earn the small part-time that we're earning, and then we'll be able to look after some of the demands. But the government should be working towards granting autonomy to each university to run the place. And this is the problem with these private universities that I'm saying now. The owners of the university, can they grant autonomy to, who are they going to grant autonomy to? To themselves or to the vice chancellor? That is the major problem. But I agree with you, the incessant closures and so on is not conducive to good learning and productivity of the universities. We have to stop them. They are getting ready now. Again, I can see some of them are saying it. But a government that makes promises, you negotiate, and okay, on the basis of this negotiation, they take it good faith, let's go away. In 3 months, we will implement. But you discover that after 1 year, 2 years, government has not done anything. So they're in trouble. They start another negotiation. So they just keep piling it on. I don't know. I don't know how we're going. Education is not easy. It's not cheap. So parents must be willing to play their own part. It's not that, well, they say it's free education, you just continue to produce and leave them there to go to school. No. Know how many you can train. And then another angle to all this matter, not every child is ready or actually, I should say ready to go to university for university education. They don't all have to be doctors or lawyers. There are so many things depending on the inherent talent of the students. So our secondary school, particularly at the senior secondary school level, a lot of work must still be done there so that they can separate them, at least do an evaluation. This child will be best in arts, this one in non-formal education and so on, which are not doing. But parents, please, a child that wants to be a footballer, let him be. A child that wants to be a singer, just let him be. Let her be. The important thing is for that child to be developed along the path that God has given him or her talents.
All right, thank you very much for that. We have been discussing Africa's future Building Africa's Future Through Knowledge, Governance, and Institution with Professor Abisogun Lee. So beyond academia, you have served beyond academia.
Yes.
As chairman of the Economic Planning Board in Lagos State.
Yes.
As chairman of the Civil Service Commission. So you have seen governance from the inside. So if I may ask, what defines effective governance and institution?
That's a good question. I think plainly, a good government or governance must mean applying the available resources very effectively and efficiently to solve the identified questions, problems of society. And Lagos State has been doing that. I really want to thank those who have been at the affairs right from the creation in 1967. If you have access to documents of the government of Major Bolaji Johnson, those people, I doff my cap. A fresh assignment. The 12 men who started the cabinet with that governor covered everything. They covered everything. And the sincerity and the intention and the energy they put to bear on the issues at hand, I think we have not praised them enough. And then things followed like that. Lagos now is not what we used to talk about. During my own time, when I served as Commissioner for Agric, Commissioner for Education, Commissioner for Health, under the second government of Lagos State, the population was not as large as this. We knew ourselves. Actually, we knew. You can almost go into the next compound and tell Ya Sule, this is going on. But now, there has been this explosive expansion in population of Lagos State. And I'm sure that's the same thing that is happening in other states and in other countries of Africa. The urbanization process, the population growth, I think whether we like it or not, we will have to come back to that idea of population control. We have to manage it. I know that this is not a popular topic, but it has to be addressed. As a population geneticist, as a development enthusiast, I want to see development. If we don't control the growth rate in population, no matter what we are doing, all the other advancements and so on that we say will just be consumed by. It will appear that we are not doing anything. Population is good if it is a well-structured and educated population. Sure. Believe me, if we are at 223 million now in Nigeria, okay, in another 2050, they say we will almost be the third largest population in the whole world. Okay, what are we going to do? I think it is the population growth and then the sudden realization that the education, the training was not keeping pace. See what is going on in the northern part of the country. That, to me, as a teacher, I wonder why. Because those guys who are roaming the streets, those kids have talent. It's only that the adults have not put them in the right places where they can develop it. They just allow them to be going like that. And now, once they get to a certain age, I believe, I can say it, they are not controllable again. They are free agents. And they will be looking for ways to nurture themselves, to want to be like the guy they see on Lagos streets, wearing jeans and all that. Instead of staying in the rural area, they want to be in Kano city, they want to be in Kaduna, they want to be in Abuja, and they cannot afford it, so they begin to look for ways and means. So all this criminality and copy.
All right, sir. You mentioned something about population control, and I want us to a bit go further.
Yes.
We have not had a census for quite a while. We say we are over 200 million.
Yes.
Some people say we are more than that.
Yes.
Some people know how many
Yes.
we are. So population control, when you say population, what do you really mean? Do you mean we start to say, each couple should not have more than 2 children?
Like in China?
We have a case of the Almajiris.
Yes.
You know what that is also.
Yes.
What can we do?
Well, without mincing words, because telling the truth, I think is the important thing here. Thank God we are not targeting any particular family or household or lineage. If we don't know how many we are, we do not know how far or how many we will plan for.
Definitely.
So I think that what we need now, because a regular census has not taken place in the last 2 decades or so, and population census exercise must be conducted every decade or so.
Yes.
Yes. So time is ripe for one now. We have to do it and do it right. Not for political purposes and so on. If we do it right, then we know we have a benchmark. And from there, we can begin to plan. You're not going to stop anybody from procreation, but you will position incentives. You give them incentives. If you have 4 children that you can train, this will be the advantages and so on and so on. But if you just have so many, these are through education, public enlightenment, seriously, without hiding any ulterior political advantages or disadvantages in that scheme. Say it and convince the people and do it right. If we can do the next one and get it right, I think we are we've cleared one obstacle to the growth of Nigeria and Africa. What is happening here is what is happening everywhere, except that in some other countries, take Rwanda, for example, they have done, they know who they are. But here in Nigeria, all these numbers that we are just banditing around, I have seen so many millions. They just 223, 220 million. Some will even say we are even up to 250 million. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So we will appeal to the federal government to tackle it. It takes a lot of effort and financial allocation to do a thorough census. And once we can do it right, and we have it, the benchmark, we can then project from it. And census doesn't have to be an episodic event. As children are born, you add on. As people die, you subtract. That should be going on pari passu. So I am sure the present government, they must be thinking about it seriously. Looking at the seriousness with which they have handled very, very difficult issues, I think that is the next one that they should tackle. It may appear controversial because some people have been benefiting from this false narrative, because I believe that is false narrative. But if you walk around in Lagos, if you want to know whether we have large population or the population is growing, just draw an imaginary square. You are driving your car, just immediately in that area, draw an imaginary square and quickly count the number of people in that square, whether adults or young ones below age of 15. If the guys, the people below 15 are a majority, it's a growing population. And that's what we are facing now. Nigeria has a growing population, and we don't know how to stop it. It could be a very tremendous advantage, but we must structure the population and guide it, train it. If it is trained, then governance itself becomes easier. A population that is not trained is very difficult to govern. Don't throw any dust there. Don't throw your bottle. Put it in this something. You come back the next day, the container that you put there for this, everything has been stolen with the... So that is it.
Quite interesting. So why do many public institutions fail to deliver? Do you think it's a leadership problem or infrastructure? And what necessary reforms are necessary, to build a strong, enduring institution?
It's a leadership problem. To my mind, the apparent inefficiency of most of the public agencies and so on is due to leadership. And that leadership thing, if you examine it, you will see that the controlling factors are outside the agencies themselves. So I don't know what name we should give to that. I believe, shall we say political? Because I don't know, take NNPC, for Christ's sake. For Christ's sake. Look at all the monies they are not reporting. It cannot be. It cannot be the president. It cannot be the head of the government. I don't know. There's a dilemma. We have problems. But majority of the agencies and institutions are not performing at the optimal. They are not. So how do you correct that?
Yes.
First of all, get the square peg in the square hole.
Okay.
First of all, the people who are going to man or manage this institution must be screened to be the best for it. In character, in competence, whatever. but be sure that they are the best for it. If you are not, and we had federal character, federal character, that thing is so good when it was conceived. It is to mean that every part of the country will be there.
Yes.
But I know that it's not working that way. There are many agencies that, for example, we don't have enough or proportionate number of mind states in those things. In Lagos State, people are not properly represented there.
Yeah.
But the Federal Character Commission was established to equalize that time, to remove that problem. Okay. Now, that in itself has led to some other problems. Because in some areas, you just pick anybody, as long as it's from state A, just dump him on the technical board. And they are talking hydrogen, talking all this technical something, and then NNPC knows nothing about it. So, institutions are failing because of leadership, and that leadership may mean the way the board, the boards or the agencies themselves are constituted, and then the regulatory agencies who must sanction, who must oversee what these people are doing. Are they doing it? Take the central bank and our banks. You go to the bank now, you get trash as money. You want to withdraw 50,000. They give you trashy, dirty and smelly pieces of paper. But you go to POS people, or you go to the party people, you will find the best, the mint money there. Who is to blame for that? Is that the bank or those who are regulating the banks? So your question is very germane, and that's throughout Africa. Thank God there are differences. The Nigeria seems to be on the lower rank when you compare. There are other African countries where things are done very, very right. And I have an example. I visited Ghana one time when I was in the office. And at the end of the day, I wanted to pay the taxi driver $5 American dollars. But I made a mistake. I gave something higher. I forgot the arrangement we made. I gave him higher. It was when I got back in the night, I was doing my review to know how much I still have to spend, that I realized that I've overpaid him. And I ran quickly to the reception because I knew there was a big hole in my pocket. So, this driver that you people, I said, no, sir, don't worry about it. Your money, tomorrow morning, you will see that the man himself will come here. And that was what happened. By 7 o'clock, this man came and reported himself that the man that I dropped here yesterday overpaid by so much. You see, the integrity of the people, the value that honesty pays. And something that you've done on the village side will go to the community side, the town, and so on. Then it will get to a national level. values have disappeared now, or they've been diluted. How we are going to get them back, that's the problem. But we have to do it by example.
Thank you very much for that. Now let's look at Nigeria's political structure. You were also involved in political structures as a member of the Unity Party of Nigeria. So if I may ask, what has changed in Nigeria's political and policy landscape since your time?
Well, thank you. Many people don't know it, but I was very, very active in politics. I started in 1959. As soon as I was leaving Baptist Academy, I became interested in Action Group, and I've stayed in that progressive line even till now. It's very, very so. But don't let me disclose where I am. But I am a progressive now. Okay.
Okay.
Now, but at that time, political parties used to have something that we call manifesto. We used to have manifesto.
We still have it today.
Well, manifesto. I don't think so. I don't think so. During the UPN, I could just tell you four strong, all the points. Read this, and then we had a song. And that song is being sung now for another person. Well, that's another way. We like it. Let them use it. That song was composed by Mr. Amuwo. Mr. Amuwo. Mr. Amuwo is dead now. He was the director of music of the Unity Party of Nigeria. Anyway, what am I trying to say? The difference that I have noticed is that there is no manifesto. That's we are committed to govern the Nigerian political space according to this guideline. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. And this is how we will approach it. If there is any disruption, there is any disagreement,
Yes.
and I had to leave that group,
Yes.
I will not go into another political party that has something contrary to mine. This is what is baffling me now. People just move
Cross carpet.
and they allow it to happen. You are elected on the basis of Party A, and suddenly you disagree with them. Okay. So find another party that has something similar. But what we see is they just move to anything. They just move. They just move. So I think I must tell you it's a major issue. It's a major issue. I used also to be a general secretary of a political party in this same Lagos state. And that's the way we did it. And then the ownership of the party. How do you fund the party?
Yes.
The way I knew it, from Action Group to that time, you have to contribute. You have to contribute your own money.
All right, so if I may come up, we have very few minutes to go. One last question. Do you think African youths, because there's been a bit of a disenfranchisement from our youth into politics, so do you think African youths are prepared or not just prepared for leadership?
I am sure that the youths are prepared. The elders are not willing to relent, to relinquish. They are not willing to relinquish. This is my opinion. If you have done very well at a certain age, then you don't need to be there when you are now old. You don't need to be there. You have trained your children. You've trained. When I mean your children, I mean the youths. You have trained them. You should be able to step aside for these young people to go on. If you have a 45-year-old man, positions are available in central bank in this, and you still have somebody who is 70, who is 60-something, and they still wants to go there. Then when will your children move up? When are they going to move up? I don't know why it is playing like that, but it's rampant. That's what we see now. That we see. It could be that there is nothing for the seniors to do. If there is nothing, stay in your home. Give advice. Give advice. Don't at the age of 80, you begin to be competing with the young ones on the field. The youths are ready, but I think the process is not clear. The process is not, and I'm not sure they are having the free hand to follow that path. This is my opinion. I don't know, because what I see, then of course the flip, the other side is that the youth themselves are too much in a hurry. They are not too much in a hurry. I take anybody who is a counselor, ordinary counselor. Well, I shouldn't say ordinary. A counselor is a significant position in the organization of society or community. But as soon as they finish the 2 terms, they attach a prefix to their name.
Honorable?
They become honorable. Ha! So, honorable this, honorable that, honorable that. I begin to wonder, how is this thing done? They become honorable. So, you serve 1 term, you are honorable. You serve this thing. So they are so much in a hurry. Maybe that's my personal view. I think majority of them should bear just their name, Mrs. So-so-so-so, or Mr. So-so-so-so. All this honorable, just too much. So then you move on to become commissioner, honorable. You become minister, honorable. Well, maybe if they want to attach some name to themselves.
The position comes with honor, so maybe that's why.
Yes, maybe it's the position.
All right,
Yes.
thank you very much,
Thank you.
Professor Abisogun, for your insight. Thank you for joining us on Just Africa today.
Thank you.
Appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I think this is a good platform. I want to thank everybody for inviting me to come here and see it. Okay?
Thank you very
I
much.
have hope that Nigeria will be better
Yes.
if we all agree, have the intention to make it better.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, today we have listened not just to a man, but to a lifetime of thought, service, and reflection. And one message is clear. Africa's transformation will not be accidental. It will be intentional. It will be disciplined, and it will be driven by those who understand that development is not an event, it's a process. The question is no longer what Africa can become, but the question is, are we willing to build what we have? We have been discussing Africa's future through knowledge, governance, and institutions with Professor Abisogun Lee, former Commissioner of Lagos State, former Vice Chancellor, Lagos State University, the head of Brazilian quarters, the Onipopo of
Aguda.
Thank you for watching Just Africa. It's been a pleasure. Like I always say, it takes a village to get the show running. Many thanks to everyone who took part and made this successful, starting from Mr. Bayo Laoye down to our cinematographers, those in the control room, the producer, the head of TV, the executive producer, every single person that made this show possible. I want to say thank you. But a bit of thanks is to you watching, listening, liking, and sharing. Until next time, keep up. Keep listening to Soak News TV and keep watching for Africa. Africa is coming up. I am Olumide Shokoya. Enjoy the rest of your day.